Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare states $quarter coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we are exploring a coin that millions of people have touched, yet only a tiny number have ever truly looked at closely. The United States of America $quarter from the year 2000, the beautiful Virginia State Quarter. At first glance it seems like an ordinary piece of change, but coin lovers know better. This coin hides stories of history, scarcity, and surprising value that many collectors overlook. Hold the coin in your hand and notice the three ships sailing boldly across the reverse. Those are the Susan Constant, Godspeed, and Discovery, the vessels that carried the first English settlers to Jamestown. The design captures a moment that shaped the beginning of America. And even though more than 900 million Virginia quarters were minted, not all of them are created equal. Most quarters you find in circulation are worth only 25 cents. But here's where the thrill begins. Some Virginia quarters were struck so sharply and preserved so perfectly that collectors chase them feverishly. A few graded at the highest levels, especially MS-68, are so rare that their value jumps dramatically. And then there are the errors, the magical words every collector gets excited about. Slight misalignments, die chips, weak strikes, or unusual metal flaws can turn this everyday coin into a treasure. These errors are not common, and when they appear, they instantly become conversation pieces in the numismatic world. Imagine digging through pocket change and suddenly spotting a Virginia quarter with a strange rim, a doubling effect, or an unusually bold strike. Your heart beats faster because now it's not just a coin, it's a discovery. Collectors love these moments, and that's why this quarter keeps people searching even today. As you look at your own 2000 Virginia quarter, pay attention to the shine, the details of the sails, the clarity of the lettering, and any unusual marks. Sometimes the smallest difference becomes the key to value. And that is the real thrill of coin hunting, the mystery, the possibility, the chase. If you're enjoying this exploration, make sure to like and subscribe because we have many more hidden gems to uncover together. Stick around, coin lovers, the next treasure might already be in your pocket. Real market value in words. A normal circulated Virginia quarter from the year 2000 is worth 25 cents. A high-grade uncirculated example can sell for several dollars. And the rarest top-graded MS-68 pieces have reached around $400 at auction. Top 2, we are diving into one of the earliest and most historically powerful coins from the State Quarter series, the United States of America $quarter from New Jersey, minted in the year 1999. At first glance it may look like just another coin passing through millions of hands, but when you look closely, this quarter becomes a small masterpiece hiding stories, rarity, and surprising value that many collectors don't realize. Turn the coin over and you instantly see the iconic scene of George Washington leading troops as they crossed the icy Delaware River during the American Revolution. It's dramatic, bold, and easily one of the most striking designs in the entire series. And that artwork is exactly why so many collectors still hunt this coin with passion today. Even though the New Jersey quarter was minted in high numbers, not every coin survived equally. Most people spent them, dropped them, scratched them, tossed them in jars, and that makes the perfectly preserved ones incredibly hard to find now. Sharp details, clean fields, and flawless surfaces turn an ordinary quarter into a collector's prize. The highest grade examples are rare because the earliest state quarters often suffered from fast production and heavy circulation, and then comes the magic word every collector loves to hear: errors. The New Jersey quarter has some fascinating minting mistakes that can dramatically increase its desirability. Some coins show misaligned strikes, while others have die cracks near Washington's shoulder or the boat edges. A few examples even show doubling on the lettering or distorted details on the river lines. These errors aren't common, and every unusual variation can instantly turn the coin into something worth examining under a magnifier. Imagine flipping through your spare change and spotting one of these, a slightly shifted strike, a raised crack running across the design, or a doubling effect that makes the letters appear shadowed. Suddenly, that plain quarter becomes a mystery, a thrill, a hidden treasure waiting to be discovered. That is the real joy of coin collecting, not just the value, but the moment of surprise, the connection to history, and the excitement of finding something that most people overlook. So the next time you come across a 1999 New Jersey quarter, don't rush past it. Pay attention to the sharpness of Washington's profile, the details of the soldiers, the clarity of the boats, and any unusual marks or minting quirks. You never know which one might be a sleeper, a rare piece hiding in plain sight. If you're enjoying this journey into rare coins and hidden value, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay with us. We have many more treasures to explore, and who knows, the next valuable coin might already be sitting in your pocket. Top 3, we are taking a deep dive into one of the most elegant and visually striking coins of the entire state quarter series. We are talking about the United States of America quarter dollar from Oklahoma, minted in the year 2008. If you have this coin in your hand, don't rush past it. Today we are unlocking the secrets behind its design, its rarity, its hidden errors, and why so many collectors still search through their change hoping to find that one special Oklahoma quarter. When you flip the coin over, you are greeted by one of the most graceful scenes ever placed on a quarter. The scissortail flycatcher stretches its wings in mid-flight, soaring above the state wildflower, the Indian blanket. This design feels almost alive, as if the bird could glide right off the surface of the coin. Collectors often say this is one of the most artistic and natural-looking of all 50 state quarters, but beauty alone doesn't make a coin valuable. What makes this Oklahoma quarter especially interesting is the way it fits into the final chapter of the state quarter program. 2008 was the last year of the series, and by that time millions of people were actively collecting state quarters. This meant the Oklahoma quarter had higher demand from day one. Yet even with millions produced, only a very small number survived in pristine, untouched condition. Most coins took the rough journey through circulation. They were handled, dropped, rubbed against keys, tossed into jars, scraped against metal change drawers, or spent in vending machines. Each of these little scratches, bumps, and wear marks destroys a coin's chance of becoming a high-grade collectible. That is why collectors search obsessively for uncirculated Oklahoma quarters with strong luster, sharp detail, and absolutely no marks or discoloration. Now let's talk about the rare part, the errors. These are the treasures that make collectors' hearts beat faster. The Oklahoma quarter has several interesting and valuable minting mistakes that can raise its price far beyond face value. Some coins show extra metal, creating die chips near the bird's wings or around the petals of the Indian blanket flower. These raised bumps should not be there, and when present, they make the coin far more desirable. A few Oklahoma quarters have been found with doubling on the words Oklahoma or on the finer lines of the feathers. Doubling means the letters look like they have a faint shadow behind them, caused by a slight shift during the striking process. This type of doubling is rare and instantly makes the coin stand out. There are even examples with off-center strikes, where the design appears shifted toward the edge. When the shift is noticeable but the date and lettering are still visible, collectors pay strong premiums for these pieces. Every error tells a unique story of how the coin was created, and every one of them brings excitement to the hobby. Imagine sorting through a handful of change, expecting nothing special, and suddenly noticing something unusual on the Oklahoma quarter you just picked up. Maybe the bird's wing looks thicker than normal. Maybe the petals look raised or doubled, or the entire image seems tilted slightly to the side. In that moment, you are no longer holding a simple quarter. You are holding possibility. You are holding history. You are holding something that could be rare, unusual, or even valuable. Even without errors, high-grade Oklahoma quarters are beautiful collector pieces. Their shining surfaces, crisp details, and intricate design make them stand out in any coin collection. And because so few were perfectly preserved, the top-graded examples have sold for impressive amounts. So when you find a 2008 Oklahoma quarter, take your time. Look closely at the wings of the flycatcher. Check the flower petals. Examine the lettering. Every small detail matters. The next great discovery in your collection might come from an everyday coin you almost overlooked. Top 4, we are diving into one of the boldest and strongest designs in the entire state quarter program, the United States of America quarter dollar from Texas, minted in the year 2004. At first glance this coin looks rugged and powerful, just like the state it represents. But when you look deeper, this Texas quarter reveals hidden stories, secret errors, and surprising value that coin lovers need to hear very carefully. When you flip over the coin, the first thing that jumps out is the massive outline of the state of Texas. Inside that outline stands the famous Lone Star, the legendary symbol of Texas pride. Behind the state border stretches a textured lariat rope that forms a frame around the entire image. This design is strong, iconic, and captures the spirit of independence Texans are so proud of. And because of this striking artwork, the Texas quarter is one of the most recognized and most collected coins from the series, but beauty is only the beginning. What makes this coin truly interesting for collectors is how few have survived in flawless condition. Even though millions were minted, most Texas quarters were thrown into circulation immediately. They rubbed against other coins, got scratched in pockets, and picked up tiny dents and marks that slowly erased their value. That means the highest grade coins you can find today, the ones with brilliant shine and perfect details, are far rarer than people expect. Now let's talk about the part collectors love the most, the errors. The 2004 Texas quarter has several fascinating mint mistakes that can make it far more valuable. Some quarters show die chips, little lumps of extra metal, especially around the edges of the Texas outline or near the star. These tiny bumps are mistakes from the minting process, and collectors always pay attention to them. A few examples have doubling on the words Texas or on the year 2004. When you see doubling, it looks like the letters have a faint shadow behind them. This type of doubling is eye-catching and instantly raises the value of the coin. There are also off-center strike errors where the design has shifted toward the rim, creating a dramatic and unusual appearance. These are rare and always in demand. Collectors also search for weak strikes, where certain parts of the design look faint or incomplete. This happens when the die didn't press the coin with full force. While minor weak strikes are common in cheap circulation coins, strong and clear weak strike examples from this year can still draw attention. Imagine sorting through your loose change and suddenly seeing something odd about your Texas quarter. Maybe the star looks thicker on one side, or the texture around the lariat rope looks raised, or the state outline seems slightly doubled. In that moment you're no longer holding a regular quarter, you're holding a mystery waiting to be solved. And that feeling, that sudden moment of excitement, is exactly why coin collecting becomes such a passionate hobby. Even the regular uncirculated Texas quarters, with their bold design and crisp details, remain highly collectible. Many hobbyists love this coin simply because it stands out so strongly from other state designs. And when you find one in pristine condition, untouched and shining like the day it was minted, it becomes a treasure worth keeping. So the next time you come across a 2004 Texas quarter, don't rush past it. Study the star. Look at the outline. Examine the rope border. You never know what rare detail might be hiding right in front of you. Top 5. We are exploring one of the most elegant coins in the entire state quarter series, the United States of America quarter dollar from Maryland, minted in the year 2000. At first glance it looks simple, but when you take a closer look, this coin reveals history, symbolism, rarity, and hidden value that every coin lover should listen to very carefully. So stay with me, because today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating quarters that might be sitting quietly in your pocket right now. When you flip the Maryland quarter to its reverse, you see the magnificent Maryland State House, the oldest state capitol still in continuous use. Its tall dome rises proudly, decorated with the iconic cross-pattern shingles. Surrounding the building are two branches of white oak, the state tree of Maryland. Together, these elements form a design that feels both proud and historic, symbolizing the heart of the state. The detail in the dome, the windows, the leaves, everything on this coin shows the skill of the engravers, but what makes this coin especially interesting is how collectors react to it. Even though millions of Maryland quarters were minted, only a tiny percentage were preserved in perfect condition. Most entered circulation immediately. They got scratched by car keys, rubbed against other coins, dropped on floors, pushed into cash drawers, and slowly lost their original mint shine. That is why sharp, uncirculated Maryland quarters have become more desirable over the years. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin becomes. Now let's talk about what collectors truly love, the rare errors. The Maryland quarter has several kinds of minting mistakes that can turn this simple 25-cent piece into something much more interesting. Some coins show die cracks around the dome or between the branches, creating raised lines or bumps of extra metal. These cracks make each coin unique, and collectors pay attention to them immediately. A few Maryland quarters have been found with doubling on the lettering or on the details of the branches. When doubling happens, the letters look like they have a soft shadow behind them, a sign that the minting process shifted slightly during striking. These double die varieties are rare, and rare always means exciting. There are also off-center strikes, where the design shifts toward one edge, leaving blank space on the opposite side. These errors are dramatic and easy to spot. When the date and lettering remain fully visible, these off-center Maryland quarters can be surprisingly valuable. Even weak strikes, where parts of the design look faint or lightly pressed, are collected when they are distinct. Every error tells a story of an imperfect moment at the mint, and every unusual detail can make a typical coin feel like a hidden treasure. Picture this: you're sorting through your change, not expecting anything special, and suddenly you notice a strange line crossing the dome, or a leaf that looks doubled, or an odd shift in the strike. In that moment, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding possibility. That is the thrill of coin collecting. You never know when something ordinary can turn into something unforgettable. So next time you come across a 2000 Maryland quarter, look closely at the branches, the windows, the dome, the lettering, and the edges. Every detail matters. The value might be hiding in a tiny flaw or a nearly perfect strike. If you enjoy discovering rare coins, learning hidden details, and exploring the secret world of numismatics, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for many more amazing coin stories. Your next treasure might already be in your pocket. Top 6. We are diving into one of the most breathtaking coins ever released in the America the Beautiful series, the United States of America $quarter Blue Ridge Parkway from the year 2015. If you have this coin in your pocket, take a moment and really look at it, because today we are uncovering everything that makes this coin special, rare, valuable, and deeply loved by collectors. Stay with me, because this story gets more interesting the longer you listen. When you turn the coin to its reverse, you're greeted by a scene that feels almost like a window into the Appalachian Mountains. A curved mountain road winds alongside a stone tunnel, and blooming rhododendron flowers frame the view. This design captures the peaceful, scenic beauty of the Blue Ridge Parkway, one of America's most iconic drives. The artwork is smooth, detailed, and incredibly calming to look at, making this quarter stand out from many others in the series. But the magic of this coin isn't only in its beauty. What truly pulls collectors in is the rarity of high-grade examples and the fascinating mint errors that can turn this simple quarter into something far more valuable. Even though millions of Blue Ridge Parkway quarters were produced, most were spent quickly and bounced through circulation. They rubbed against other coins, picked up scratches, lost their shine, and slowly drifted into everyday use. That's why finding a perfectly preserved, uncirculated example today is more difficult than people expect. Collectors especially pay attention to the 2015 quarters because they are modern but not always easy to find in flawless condition. Sharp details in the flowers, clean surfaces in the stone tunnel, a strong strike on the lettering, all of these things matter when it comes to grade and value. The higher the grade, the rarer the coin. Now let's talk about the part coin lovers get excited about: the errors. The Blue Ridge Parkway quarter has several kinds of minting mistakes that can seriously increase its desirability. Some coins show die chips, creating raised bumps around the tunnel entrance or the edges of the rhododendron flowers. These little extra pieces of metal catch the light and immediately stand out. There are also double die examples where the lettering or the floral details appear slightly shadowed, giving them a doubled effect. Doubling is always a favorite among collectors because it is rare, striking, and unique on every coin. Off-center strikes are another thrilling error where the entire design appears shifted toward one edge of the coin. These can be dramatic and are easy to spot, making them very popular among collectors. Even slight misalignments or weak strikes can become collectible when they are distinctive enough. Imagine sorting through a handful of coins and suddenly spotting something unusual. Maybe the flower petals look raised in a strange way, or the tunnel outline seems thicker, or the road looks slightly doubled. In that moment your regular change turns into a treasure hunt. That little spark of excitement is what makes coin collecting such a fun and addicting hobby. This coin is also admired simply for its beauty. Even without errors, a bright, untouched Blue Ridge Parkway quarter with full luster can be a centerpiece in someone's modern coin collection. It's one of those designs that feels like a miniature painting frozen in metal. So the next time you come across a 2015 Blue Ridge Parkway quarter, hold it up to the light. Look at the details of the flowers, the shape of the tunnel, the texture of the mountains, and the quality of the strike. You may be holding something rare without even realizing it. If you enjoy exploring hidden treasures, discovering valuable coins, and learning what makes these pieces of metal truly special, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us for more coin adventures. Your next surprising find might already be in your pocket waiting to be discovered. Top 7. We are diving deep into one of the most meaningful and symbolic coins in the state quarter program, the United States of America $quarter from New York, minted in the year 2001. If you have this coin in your hand right now, don't rush past it. Today we are uncovering the secrets, the rarity, the hidden errors, and the surprising value that make this New York quarter a favorite among collectors. So stay with me, because this story gets more interesting the longer you listen. When you flip the coin over, the first thing you notice is the bold outline of the state of New York, set behind a beautifully engraved Statue of Liberty. Her arm raised high, torch glowing, she appears as a symbol of hope and freedom. Around the state outline you'll see small lines representing the 11 major pathways of exploration, reminding us that New York has always been a gateway to opportunity. Across the center runs a ribbon that reads Gateway to Freedom, capturing the spirit of millions who pass through New York in search of a better life. This quarter isn't just a coin. It's a reminder of history, culture, and the importance of this iconic state. And because of the powerful design, many collectors hold the New York quarter in particularly high regard. But here's where things get even more interesting. Like many early state quarters, millions were produced, but only a very small percentage survived in flawless, untouched, truly collectible condition. Most were used in everyday life. They were spent, dropped, scratched, pushed through parking meters, dragged across countertops, and stored in pocketfuls of change. That means high-grade New York quarters, ones with perfect surfaces and sharp detail, are much rarer than people expect. Collectors especially love the New York quarter because it has several different types of minting errors that increase its value. Some coins show die cracks, creating thin raised lines across the state border or near the Statue of Liberty's arm. These unusual lines catch the light and instantly draw the attention of collectors. There are also double die examples where the lettering or the outline of the state appears to have a faint shadow behind it. Doubling is always exciting, because it turns a regular coin into something unique created by a rare minting shift. Another interesting error found on New York quarters is off-center strikes, where the entire design is pushed slightly toward one side. These are dramatic and easy to spot. When the date and lettering remain visible, off-center New York quarters can be quite desirable. Some collectors have even found coins with weak strikes, where parts of Liberty's figure or the state outline appear faint. While subtle, these minting oddities add intrigue and make the coin feel special. Imagine sorting through your spare change and suddenly spotting something unusual. Maybe the state outline looks doubled, or Lady Liberty's torch looks slightly thicker, or the entire design is shifted off-center. In that moment, your everyday quarter becomes a treasure worth closer inspection. And that thrill is exactly what makes coin collecting so addictive. Even without errors, a beautifully preserved New York quarter glows with character. The sharp lines, the strong artwork, and the historical symbolism make it a favorite in many collections. High-grade examples with full luster are always in demand and continue to impress collectors around the world. So the next time you find a 2001 New York quarter, take your time and look closely. Examine the state outline, the texture of Liberty's robe, the pathways, and the lettering. You might be holding something far more special than you realize. Top 8. we are diving into one of the very first coins from the legendary state quarter program, the United States of America quarter dollar from Georgia, minted in the year 1999. This was only the fourth state quarter ever released, and today we are going to explore why this beautiful coin is still hunted by collectors, what makes it rare, what errors you should look for, and how some of these coins have sold for surprising amounts. So stay with me, because the longer you listen, the more fascinating this story becomes. When you flip the Georgia quarter over, the design feels warm, historic, and full of pride. At the center stands the peach, the iconic symbol of Georgia and the reason the state is known as the Peach State. Surrounding it are branches of live oak, the state tree, and beneath it flows a banner reading wisdom, justice, moderation. The outline of the entire state frames the design, giving the coin a strong and instantly recognizable shape. Because this was one of the early state quarters, millions of Americans saved them, spent them, traded them, and collected them. But here's what most people never realize: only a tiny fraction of those millions remain in perfect, untouched condition. Early state quarters were produced quickly because of high demand, meaning quality control wasn't always perfect. And when they went into circulation, they were used heavily from the start. That makes high-grade examples from 1999 Georgia much more difficult to find than people expect. Now, let's talk about the part that gets collectors excited: the errors. The 2000 Georgia quarter has several types of minting mistakes that can dramatically increase its value. Some coins show die cracks, thin raised lines that stretch across the peach, the leaves, or the outline of the state. These cracks are caused by worn dies and they create unique, collectible pieces. There are also coins with strong die chips, where extra metal appears around the letters or near the leaves. These small bumps may look like tiny metal growths, but to collectors they are rare and intriguing. Doubling errors also exist on this coin, especially around the lettering or the numbers of the date. When doubling occurs, the letters appear slightly shadowed or thickened, a sign of a striking shift that collectors immediately notice. Another thrilling error to watch for is the off-center strike. When the design is shifted toward one edge and leaves a blank crescent of metal on the other side, you've found something far more valuable than a regular quarter. Off-center errors are dramatic, eye-catching, and always in demand. Some collectors also treasure weak strike examples where parts of the design look faded or lightly pressed. Even though subtle, these pieces can still be interesting when they are distinctive. Imagine going through your change and suddenly spotting a Georgia quarter where the peach looks doubled, or a branch has a strange raised line running through it, or the entire design seems off-center. In that moment, you're not just holding a quarter, you're holding a hidden treasure that most people on Earth would overlook. Even without errors, a well-preserved Georgia quarter with strong luster and a clean surface is a beautiful collectible. The design is full of state pride, and because this was one of the very first state quarters ever made, demand for high-grade examples continues to be strong among collectors. So the next time you find a 1999 Georgia quarter, look closely at every detail. Study the peach, the leaves, the banner, and the outline of the state. One tiny difference could be the key to a rare find. Top 9, we are taking a closer look at one of the most historic and beautifully detailed coins in the state quarter program, the United States of America quarter dollar from New Hampshire, minted in the year 2000. If you think all quarters are the same, think again. Today we are diving deep into why this coin is special, what makes it rare, the errors that make collectors excited, and why some examples can be surprisingly valuable. Stay with me because this is a story every coin enthusiast will want to hear carefully. When you flip the New Hampshire quarter to its reverse, you are greeted by the iconic Old Man of the Mountain, carved into the cliffs of the White Mountains. Beneath the cliff is a winding path leading into the forest, and the words "Live Free or Die" proudly stretch across the top. This design perfectly captures the rugged, independent spirit of New Hampshire. Every line, every curve of the rock formation and the path, reflects incredible artistry that brings the coin to life in miniature. But here's the fascinating part: even though millions of New Hampshire quarters were minted, only a small percentage survive in pristine condition today. Most went straight into circulation, jostling through pockets, cash registers, and vending machines. That means uncirculated, flawless coins are significantly rarer than you might think. Collectors are constantly hunting for examples with full luster, sharp detail, and no marks or scratches. Now let's get into the errors that make this coin truly exciting. The 2000 New Hampshire quarter, like many state quarters, has a few rare minting mistakes that instantly grab collector attention. Some coins show die cracks, creating tiny raised lines that run across the old man's face or the forest below. These cracks are unique to each coin and turn a common quarter into a collectible treasure. Other examples display die chips, especially around the lettering or along the edge of the rock formation. These small bumps are considered minting anomalies, and coins with them can become highly desirable. Double dies are another interesting error. In these, the letters or even parts of the cliff appear slightly doubled, giving the coin a distinctive look that collectors love. Off-center strikes are also sought after. When the design shifts toward one side, leaving a blank crescent of metal on the other, it creates a dramatic and rare coin. Even subtle weak strikes, where parts of the image appear faint, can attract attention if the details are clear enough. Imagine going through your spare change and spotting a coin where the old man's features look slightly different, or the letters show doubling, or perhaps the whole design is shifted slightly off-center. In that moment, an ordinary quarter becomes a potential treasure, and that excitement is what makes coin collecting so addictive. Even without errors, a well-preserved New Hampshire quarter is a beautiful collector piece. The detail of the cliffs, the forest path, and the bold inscription make it stand out in any collection. And because it was one of the first state quarters released in 2000, it holds historical significance for collectors, adding another layer of interest. So the next time you find a 2000 New Hampshire quarter, take your time. Study the rock formation, the forest, the lettering, and the edges. One tiny difference could mean your coin is more valuable than you think. Top 10, and last rare coin. We are taking an exciting journey into one of the most beautiful and historically rich coins in the America the Beautiful series, the United States of America $quarter from Hawaii, minted in the year 2008. This coin isn't just a piece of currency, it's a miniature work of art that tells the story of Hawaii's unique history, culture, and natural wonders. If you think all quarters are the same, think again. Today we are going to explore every detail, uncover the rare errors, discuss its value, and explain why this quarter continues to captivate collectors around the world. When you flip the Hawaii quarter to its reverse, your eyes are immediately drawn to the majestic figure of King Kamehameha I. Standing tall and proud, he is depicted in traditional regalia with his ceremonial cloak and helmet. Behind him, a volcano rises, a reminder of the island's raw, natural power and beauty. The design is framed by native flora, including tropical plants that are unique to Hawaii. Every detail of this coin, from the folds of the king's robe to the sharp contours of the volcano, reflects incredible artistry and craftsmanship. It's a coin that instantly transports you to the Hawaiian Islands, even if you've never been there. Millions of Hawaii quarters were minted, but that does not mean finding a pristine example is easy. Like all modern quarters, most went straight into circulation and quickly showed signs of wear. They were jostled in pockets, dropped on countertops, and rubbed against other coins. As a result, uncirculated, high-grade examples are far rarer than people realize. Coins that retain full mint luster, with crisp details on the king's figure and the volcano, are particularly sought after by collectors. Now let's talk about the fascinating part that makes coin collectors sit up and pay attention: the errors. The Hawaii quarter has several notable minting mistakes that can dramatically increase its value. One of the most common errors is die cracks. These are raised lines caused by a crack in the mint die and can appear across the volcano, the king's robe, or even along the edges of the lettering. Each die crack is unique, turning a standard coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. Another exciting variety is the die chip. This occurs when small pieces of metal appear raised on the coin's surface, often near the lettering, the king's figure, or along the volcano. These tiny bumps might seem like imperfections, but for collectors, they are highly desirable. Double dies are equally intriguing. On these coins, certain letters or parts of the design appear shadowed or duplicated, caused by a slight shift during the striking process. Doubling errors are rare, and a collector who spots one knows instantly that they've found something special. Off-center strikes are another type of error that can make a Hawaii quarter extremely collectible. In these coins, the entire design shifts toward one edge, leaving part of the coin blank. The result is a visually dramatic coin that is instantly recognizable. Even subtle weak strikes, where areas of the design appear faint or lightly pressed, can become interesting for collectors if the details are clear and noticeable. Imagine this: you are sorting through your pocket change, and suddenly one quarter catches your eye. Perhaps the king's cloak looks thicker than usual, the volcano seems slightly raised, or the lettering appears doubled. In that moment, what seemed like an ordinary quarter transforms into a rare treasure, and that thrill is exactly why coin collecting is such an addictive hobby. Every coin holds the potential to be extraordinary if you look closely enough. Even without errors, the Hawaii quarter is a stunning addition to any collection. Its combination of historical significance, artistic design, and cultural symbolism makes it stand out among modern quarters. Collectors especially value coins with sharp details, bright surfaces, and untouched mint luster. Because it is part of the America the Beautiful series, it pairs beautifully with other state and national park quarters, forming a collection that is both visually appealing and historically meaningful. When evaluating this coin, pay attention to the details. Study the folds of King Kamehameha's robe, the angles and contours of the volcano, the textures of the native plants, and the precision of the lettering. Look for any unusual raised areas, cracks, or shifts that could indicate a rare error. Even the smallest anomaly could significantly increase the coin's value in the collector market. This coin is also a reminder that history and culture can exist in the smallest of places. A quarter in your hand can tell a story spanning centuries, from the unification of the Hawaiian Islands under King Kamehameha to the natural wonders of volcanic landscapes. Every scratch, every mark, and every mint error carries a story, making the hobby of coin collecting both fascinating and deeply rewarding. So the next time you find a 2008 Hawaii quarter, don't just see it as 25 cents. Take a moment to appreciate its design, its history, and its potential value. Examine every detail carefully, because your ordinary coin could be extraordinary in the right hands. If you enjoy discovering rare coins, exploring minting errors, and learning the stories behind these tiny pieces of history, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more coin adventures. You never know, the next rare treasure might already be in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. Real market value in words: a normal circulated 2008 Hawaii quarter is worth 25 cents. A clean uncirculated example can sell for $1 to $3. And the rare highest graded pieces, especially those certified in MS-68, have sold for around $200 in auctions.